Welcome to Stuff That We Like / Enjoy. At least at this point in time, I'm Caleb.
And I'm Christina.
And we're the Castanettas. And today I'm going to be asking Christina, what's something you like / enjoy?
Something I like / enjoy is the question or concept of if ghost kitchens are a scam.
Ghost kitchens?
Yes.
So I'm going to guess at what a ghost kitchen is, and then you can actually tell me
Great.
what it is. Ghost kitchen is like a kitchen that cooks food for a business that has a food product but doesn't have an actual store or restaurant to cook that food.
Pretty close.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
actually
cool.
pretty close. Yeah. So ghost kitchens can kind of go in a variety of different ways, but according to the official definition, this is not Merriam-Webster, but the definition of the top thing that came up on the AI tool on Google, that ghost kitchens are commercial kitchens that are optimized for preparing food exclusively for delivery or takeout. So food that's not for, you're not going to order it at a restaurant or a drive-through. It's just going to be you get on like Uber Eats or Grubhub and order it.
Okay.
So there's no dine-in facilities and no customer service like storefront. They operate primarily through online platforms such as food delivery apps like Uber Eats or DoorDash, and they focus on efficiency and cost reduction by eliminating the overhead of traditional restaurant spaces. So ghost kitchens really have come into being more prevalent in the last 10 years with the advent of Uber Eats and DoorDash. People sitting at home and ordering their expensive McDonald's, and they don't have to get up and get it. It's just sent to them. So there's been companies that have started these ghost kitchens where they'll have a like a front-facing name. Like you'll get on Uber Eats and it'll be like Burger Bonanza. And they're, 2 miles away and it'll get you, a burger and fries in
I want to eat there.
8
yeah.
minutes. And so many people are ordering from these restaurants they don't realize aren't actually restaurants. Therefore, the term ghost kitchens, like we don't actually know where they're at.
Okay.
Yeah. So the purpose of them is to fulfill online food orders, often for multiple brands or menus from a single kitchen. So there is oftentimes a warehouse or an industrial space that has these kitchens set up in it where they're fulfilling orders for several DoorDash ghost kitchens. The location is usually in low rent areas like warehouses, as I mentioned, because they don't rely on foot traffic. They don't need to be in a place where you drive by and you're like, oh, I should eat there someday. It could be in like the abandoned, strip mall up the road.
That's way less appetizing.
Yes, but you don't know that because they've got great branding.
Yeah.
So many ghost kitchens operate multiple virtual restaurants under different brand names, kind of like I mentioned before, from the same facility, tailored to what the market demand is. So if maybe wings are really in or seasonal things, they'll offer those. So one kitchen might offer burgers, sushi, and salads, all under different separate brand names. So this is why it gets into a little bit of my question of, are ghost kitchens a scam? And that's because a single ghost kitchen might run Burger Bonanza and Vegan Vibes in the same place, sharing the same equipment, but online on Uber Eats, they appear as two different restaurants on a delivery app. And so maybe you're really into being a vegan and you only want to order food from places that are ethically sourced and they don't, cook up some chicken wings there. Well, you might be getting your vegan salad and it was made, in the same room as
A bunch of beef
and wings, So getting a little bit into the idea of why it's a scam is that many well-known restaurants, I shouldn't say many, but there's several well-known restaurants that operate ghost kitchens out of their own kitchen. So I've written up kind of a scenario that might blow your mind.
Okay.
My storytelling.
I'm ready.
You gotta take a sip of that LaCroix. You're ready. So, for example, you get on DoorDash and you order from a restaurant called Cosmic Wings. Your delivery man or woman, we don't discriminate, drops off a semi-warm order of boneless wings and fries at your door. Little do you know that he picked up these wings at your local Applebee's. Not only were you delivered microwaved Applebee's wings, you paid almost 3 times the price as if you went to pick them up at Applebee's yourself. So Cosmic Wings sells a dozen wings for $11.99 on their DoorDash restaurant page.
That's a pretty good price.
Plus tax, plus a delivery fee,
Ooh.
plus a tip.
Ooh.
So your order will come out to about $18.
Spoke too soon.
If you had gone and ordered the wings from Applebee's yourself, they're just 50 cents a wing. So after tip and tax, you're looking at $7.50.
A wing?
No, total for your dozen wings.
Gotcha.
Yes, so-
wait, so you said $7.50. Mm-hmm. $7.50?
Yep.
Per wing.
No, for a dozen wings.
For a dozen wings?
Applebee's sells.
I thought you meant the total price of the delivery and everything was $7.50.
No, yeah.
Talking about from Applebee's, 12
Yes.
wings is $7.50. I need to go to Applebee's more because that sounds like a great deal. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's great. So the whole thing is that on, Uber Eats, Cosmic Wings has some really cool branding. You're like, wow, all they do is sell wings and fries. This is going to be great. You order them and you don't realize that they're from your kind of sketchy Applebee's. That's just a mile up the road. Yeah. So Applebee's operates a ghost kitchen in their own kitchen called Cosmic Wings, where they just sell their own wings at an upcharge. Yeah. So if you're lucky enough to discover this, you might order from a different wing place next time. So this time you try out the DoorDash restaurant, It's Just Wings.
Man, you're blowing these places up. Holy crap.
They have very good branding. They literally just sell wings, why it's called It's Just Wings. And the good branding and packaging might fool you, but your DoorDasher just picked these wings up from your local Chili's. Right
Chili's,
up the
huh?
road. Yeah.
Oh, Applebee's and Chili's. Maybe this is why they're still in business.
There we go.
Yeah, because Applebee's has gone downhill for a long period
Rough,
of time.
but if they're selling microwavable boneless wings,
Heck.
at triple price.
Yeah, shoot.
So if you've had Chili's wings before and you might tell they're the same, you're like, I'm going to try a different wing place this next time. You're ordering a lot of wings this week. So you order from Conviction Chicken, aka your local TGI Fridays wings.
Oh my God, really?
So now you've sworn off ordering wings online. So next week you're going to try something different. So you order from the Burger Den. And you were delivered a lukewarm burger from Denny's.
No way.
Next week-
Is this all hypothetical?
No, this is all real.
This is real?
This is all
my
real.
Gosh.
Next week you try something different. You order a grilled cheese sandwich from The Meltdown, which is also from Denny's. No way. Next week you want to try something different, a pizza. Surely you can't go wrong with that. So you order a pizza from Pizza Portal, aka Domino's Pizza, at double the price with much more delivery fees.
Oh my God.
Trying to play it safe this next time. You order from Maggiano's. Maggiano's?
Yeah,
I always called it Margiano's.
Yeah.
Maggiano's Italian Classics. Because you love Maggiano's Italian food. You've been there before. Okay, it's a real restaurant. But little do you know that the fettuccine Alfredo you ordered was microwaved and packaged up at, you guessed it, your local Chili's.
No way.
Chili's and Maggiano's are owned by the same company, and in a way to expand their reach to areas that don't have a Maggiano's nearby, they ship their fettuccine Alfredo to Chili's, have them warm it up in their kitchens, and deliver it.
Wow. I thought you said have the Mormon up in their kitchens, but you said have them warm it up in their kitchens? Okay,
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's not actually made there. A lot of Chili's foods is just kind of prepackaged.
Wow.
The list goes on. Chicken Sammy's and Danto's Pizza are Red Robin menu items. Pasquelli's Pizza and Wings, Chuck E. Cheese.
Ooh.
And Breakfast All Day is IHOP.
Dang, this actually opens my eyes to why some of these places are still in business. Because I can for sure understand why Chuck E. Cheese and Applebee's are still standing now.
Right. If you just got this great pizza or wings thing going on, or even Domino's, and people don't like Domino's, but they like Domino's in a cooler box for not $5,
Man,
they might order it.
crazy.
So now let's get into more actual ghost kitchens, because what I've mentioned, they are ghost kitchens in the sense that you don't know that you're getting your food from the Applebee's up the road. But actual ghost kitchens are not just online storefronts that serve your favorite microwave sweet Asian chili wings from Applebee's. They actually are their own creations and recipes, not just marketed under a new name. Ghost kitchens can be a scam because you assume you're ordering food from an actual restaurant. Many people, when you're ordering off DoorDash, you're not thinking, oh, this is being made in a warehouse downtown with like 8 other restaurant names attached to it. Because your food is likely coming from a ghost kitchen that's owned by a company that operates dozens of ghost kitchens in the same facility. So it's not just like 2 or 3, it's often many times more than that. So companies such as Kitchen United or Reef Technology, which does not sound like a food company at all.
Reef
Reef
Technology.
Technology.
Buy some weed over there.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest ghost kitchen brands. They operate ghost kitchens that house in between 10 to 45 different food brands in the same kitchen.
Dang, 10 to
10
45.
to 45 in one. So it's kind of like Cheesecake Factory's menu on steroids. You always wonder, how do they have, these 85, 120 menu items? Think about having 100, 200 menu items being made in the same kitchen. So I watched a video recently by a YouTuber called Eddie Burback. He's a cool YouTuber, and the video is titled The Deceptive World of Ghost Kitchens, which spawned this idea. And in the video, he looked at nearby restaurants in his Uber Eats app, and he looked further into the details for the addresses of these businesses. And he discovered that 44 restaurants were operating out of the same address from a warehouse a few miles from his house. 44.
That's a lot.
Just from one area. So he dug a little deeper and looked into their menus, and he found that 9 of the 44 restaurants served a fried fish sandwich. So he ordered a fried fish sandwich from each of these 9 restaurants and then went to pick them up at the warehouse. And the worker there packaged them up for him in 2 bags, and he brought them home for a taste test. And they were all the exact same sandwich. Not a single ingredient had changed. So these ghost kitchens are able to not maybe have hundreds of menu items for their 44 restaurants, but like maybe 8 of the restaurants serve burgers, and they're just the same burger for all 8 of the restaurants. Same thing with fish sandwiches or wings like that. So they can really expand their offerings and make it look like these restaurants have a lot of variety and things available, where it's just more so like a catering business where they're just mass making large quantities of food, which is less appetizing when, if you're getting catering brought in for like a work event, that these like 800 sandwiches were all made at the same place. But if you're door dashing that same sandwich and bag of chips and you're paying $14 for it, you're imagining it's being kind of prepared fresh for you rather than just adding to a list of 44 restaurants in one little warehouse. Yeah, so these ghost kitchens brand themselves as if they're unique, that they're not chain restaurants, that they're local, that you're supporting a nice small local business, when in actuality you're ordering from kind of like a massive catering setup with the added price bump and the delivery fees and the tip for your delivery driver, where you're not actually... These restaurants aren't hiring any staff other than the handful of people that are operating these mass kitchens.
So I know Mr. Beast for a while. Beast Burger was operated through ghost kitchens, I believe. Did he do the same thing where he just gave away or just had them make the classic whatever they're making burger and then give it away? Or did he do something different?
So I'm going to get into that right here, actually. But Mr. Beast, he did something a little bit different in the sense that he is an actual real life company rather than these just random ghost kitchen names. And he started Mr. Beast Burgers during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the idea was to help businesses that aren't doing so well make their burgers. So what you do with Mr. Beast Burgers is it could be the Applebee's down the road. They take this little class on how to make Mr. Beast Burgers, and then they order the ingredients and they prepare those burgers specifically. So it's not Applebee's selling their own burger and calling it Mr. Beast Burger. They're specific, like, here's the ingredient list for Mr. Beast Burgers, and any restaurant can operate them. So they're more so other restaurants operating them rather than like solely ghost kitchens, but any ghost kitchen can sign up to take a little Mr. Beast burger class and make their burgers in their facilities.
Cool.
Yeah. But as that guy, that YouTuber Eddie I was talking about in his Deceptive World of Ghost Kitchens video, he ordered Mr. Beast burgers and a Mr. Beast burger and got it delivered to him. And like half of the ingredients were not what was listed on the Beast Burger DoorDash site. So some of these companies are just slacking. Yeah. Which I'm not sure that. What's Mr. Beast's real name?
I don't. Freddie?
Something with a Y. Danny, Billy, Bobby.
Jimmy.
There we go. I'm sure Jimmy would not be pleased about that because he's all about
authenticity, high standards. Even with his chocolate, it's ethically sourced when none of the chocolate from the largest corporations are ethically sourced. So.
We really should do a podcast on him.
Yeah, he's cool.
Interesting. Who is Jimmy? So yeah, those are all kind of reasons why it can be a scam. Another reason that ghost kitchens can be a scam is because if one restaurant gets enough like bad ratings, like people are like, this is cold or these chicken wings suck, Reef Technology can just close that restaurant and then open up a new restaurant with a different name serving the same menu prices, same menu items and same prices. And so it might be like, oh, there's a new wing place in town, I'll try that one. And it's really just the same wings as the old one that you didn't like.
Again, Reef Technology. Get a better name. Maybe Food Technology.
Right. There's also a handful of ethical issues with these massive ghost kitchens, such as if you're against eating at a restaurant, it cooks up beef and chicken. You might order from a restaurant, as I mentioned before, called Vegan Delights, which is prepared right next to a grill cooking 60 chicken thighs. Or if you have serious food allergies, say to like peanuts, you might decide to order from Mr. Beast Burgers, which are made in the same area that a staff member is chopping up peanuts for an Asian pad thai dish right next door.
I don't find an issue with that as long as it's disclosed in the, your order agreement or something like that. I'm sure there's fine print somewhere that says that. But that does seem a little bit of a bummer if you're ordering from something vegan and you get some ground beef in there.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've got. I think that ghost kitchens can be a scam, especially less the ones that are just making a bunch of food in a warehouse downtown, but more so that you're ordering, it's just wings and you're getting Chili's wings, or you're ordering from the Burger Den and it's like Denny's burgers. I feel like that's more where the scam comes in. So what do you think? Is this a scam? Have you learned something new about all this?
I mean, it's definitely a little bit of a scam. I feel like people who are door dashing are already screwing themselves over so hard that they should.
You mean by ordering?
By ordering
not
DoorDash?
The people working, yeah.
Yeah. I used to work for DoorDash and it was surprising how many people bought food that was going to come and then be cold by the time it got there and maybe not fully what they wanted. I don't think I've DoorDashed, or maybe I've DoorDashed once in my life, but I've had friends who have DoorDashed and it's always cold. They're always disappointed. They're always angry at the timing and the food that they didn't get in their order.
Yeah.
So I think that people that DoorDash in general probably, I don't know.
They don't care as much.
They don't care as much, but also it is an injustice. So I'm a little hard on people at DoorDash and Grubhub and what have you, but it also is kind of dishonest to say, hey, you're ordering from a vegan place and then have it, tossed, the salad tossed in a bowl, if you will, with where ground beef was just tossed like an hour ago. So that's what my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Does it bother you that you order a burger from the Burger Den and it's like from your local Denny's?
I don't know. I feel like if you're ordering a burger from a fast food place, it really doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, unless it's Five Guys or what's that one in California and Texas?
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out? Doesn't matter to me. Okay. You're getting a fast food burger either way.
I get get that.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, the thing is, these places are not advertising as much as that they're a fast food burger. You don't think you're ordering a McDonald's burger. You think you're ordering from the Burger Den, like a burger specific joint, a couple miles down the road.
Yeah.
Especially with how it's presented. So you're ordering maybe a $14 burger that you think is at the level of ordering it at, a Hula Hans or like an actual restaurant. You don't know it's coming from maybe more of a fast food place or something that specializes in breakfast like Denny's.
Not to continue to attack the intelligence of people who DoorDash, but if you're DoorDashing food to your door, you're already not that smart money-wise. Yes. I can assume you're not that smart with where the food's coming in either. And so I don't know. I just think that DoorDash in general or Grubhub is a scam. So if you're getting scammed once, you can assume you're getting scammed twice.
I love it.
I don't know. That's my opinion, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah,
they should be more open about it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this vegan eats powered by Applebee's. That would be way more honest.
Right. It's just wings from Chili's.
That's good.
Hooters also, they sell their wings, but they're called like Hooties wings. And so I feel like you can probably pick up on that pretty quick.
That's a topic we got to cover at some point because I cannot believe Hooters exists in our day and age.
Right.
I mean, we've talked about it before, but why?
Yeah, they have a new either owner or CEO, and he's trying to rebrand it into being like a family-friendly establishment.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if it can just change the name. I don't know, just change the whole concept.
Change the whole concept.
Or just sell Hooties wings on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, that's all I have about ghost kitchens. I don't know if I've really convinced you that they're a scam. I'm not saying they are a scam. It's just the question and the thought.
It's scamish.
Yeah. Scammy.
For sure, like Stuffies.
Scam light.
Yeah. Scam light.
You Stuffies, let us know.
You Stuffies, let us know. Is it a scam? Is it not a scam? Great topic, babe.
Thank you.
In this next part of the podcast, we like to discuss a conspiracy. It's called Conspiracy Corner.
And Caleb is going to present me with a conspiracy theory. He's not going to tell the real side of it or why it's factual as opposed to a conspiracy. But yeah.
Yeah. And then afterwards, I'll ask Christina, what does she think? Is it real or is it fake?
Yeah.
So today's conspiracy is about the Illuminati.
Oh, wow.
Right. Big topic.
Yes, I believe in them.
So let's dive in. Feel free to jump. Okay. Wow. I just ran right over that. You believe in the Illuminati?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, okay. Well, feel free to stop me at any point if you want to start talking about anything. So the Illuminati originally was founded in 1776 in Bavaria, Germany by Adam Weishaupt. It began as a group of Enlightenment thinkers promoting reason and secularism. And it was outlawed in 1785.
Wow.
But theorists believe the group never really disbanded. It simply went underground and became even more powerful.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in right now.
Go for it.
I've heard of the Illuminati, and I've always thought of them as like this underground evil people. I had no idea there was actually a group at
crazy.
some point in time called the Illuminati.
There was.
I just thought it was all complete, like there was no... So actually, the Illuminati did exist at some point. So the question is more so, do they still exist? And what do they do?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
There we go. So what they're allegedly doing today, they're controlling world leaders like presidents, CEOs, royals, billionaires. They're supposedly manipulating wars, economic crashes, elections, and pandemics to push their agenda. They're trying to infiltrate the entertainment industry. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Rihanna, Kanye, Eminem, and Lady Gaga are all frequently accused of being members of the Illuminati. Symbolism, like the all-seeing eye, you know what I'm talking about?
Triangle.
The triangle, pyramids.
People are going to accuse us of being Illuminati now.
Yeah, I know that we did this all there. Symbolism like the all-seeing eye, pyramids, and triangles appear in their music videos and performances. So they're also said to be pushing a new world order. The Illuminati is said to be working to unite the world under a single authoritarian government. Events like 9/11 and other crises are claimed to be false flags used to centralize global control. So the famous alleged members we discussed before, Beyonce and Jay-Z, often dubbed the king and queen of the Illuminati. They also assume the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers are old money elites in the Illuminati. People have said Bill Gates, Barack Obama, Donald Trump. Basically, if someone is extremely powerful, everyone thinks they're in the Illuminati.
Okay.
So why it's believable to some is because the world often feels chaotic, but orchestrated. Okay. People want explanations for why injustice and inequality exist. And the idea of an all-powerful group pulling the strings is both terrifying and oddly comforting. It gives chaos a purpose.
And somebody to blame.
Exactly. But where's the proof? Okay. There's no hard evidence that has ever been confirmed that the Illuminati exists today.
Okay.
Most proof is based on symbolism, patterns, or guilt by association. Many researchers say it's just a modern myth and a way for people to explain complex global systems.
Wow.
So what do you think? Are they real or no?
Tell me again about what they were at the beginning in the 1700s.
Absolutely.
Because I'm still just blown away that there was actually a group called the Illuminati at some point in time.
Yeah.
I just thought this was like a blanket term descriptor for this unknown, plausible, secret group.
I did too, until I read about it and then joined it. The original Illuminati was founded in 1776 in Barovia, Germany. Of course it's in Germany. By Adam.
Love our German friends.
We love our German friends.
Yes.
Love you. It began as a group of Enlightenment thinkers promoting reason and secularism, and it was outlawed in 1785. So 9 years.
I wonder why that was outlawed.
I don't know.
Okay.
Theorists believe the group never really disbanded, though.
Yeah.
It simply went underground and became even more powerful.
Okay, so do I believe the Illuminati exists today?
Yes.
I do. I don't believe per se that it could be the continuation of the original group in Germany in the 1770s. But I do believe that there are wicked elite people that do influence culture and society. I don't know that I believe that they control everything and influence everything. I don't know if that's a claim. But I do believe that people like Jay-Z and Beyonce are wrapped up in some pretty dark spiritual stuff. Same thing with Lady Gaga. The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, I mean, especially the Rothschilds, they're just not good
Who are
people.
they? I've never heard of the Roth. I mean, I have heard
They're
of them.
a very wealthy family
are.
that's a part of the Illuminati. I should do an episode on them. No, they're bad people.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably next week or next couple of weeks. I'll do it on them. Yeah.
Cool. More to come.
So I do believe that there are, I wouldn't say it's like controlling the whole world, but I do believe that there are, people that are influencing culture and society for the negative. I'm not going to claim that the Illuminati, if we're using that term, caused 9/11 or are controlling Barack Obama or things like that.
Yeah.
But I do believe that perhaps in some situations, the Illuminati is controlling people that are then influencing people like maybe the Obamas or the Bushes or people like that. I don't know. I think the Illuminati could also just be a blanket term for any people who are involved in demonic things or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not very articulate. It's a big discussion. But I'm, first of all, fascinated to know there was a group actually called the Illuminati.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. As well as I do know that the triangle in the all-seeing eye is connected as well to Freemasonry, which is interesting. Our founding fathers were Freemasons, and I don't know how much Freemasonry, looked like it did, 300-400 years ago as it does now. Well, I guess the founding fathers were 250 years ago. But nonetheless, in Europe, I don't know. I'll stop rambling, but...
It could be they're connected.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that they're probably still around.
Okay.
I don't think that it's a government sanctioned thing. I think it's a group of ragtag billionaires and celebrities who do have influence, but they use the name of the Illuminati because they like what the Illuminati stood for. So similar stance to what you had.
Right, yeah. So do you believe, though, like that group in Germany from 250 years ago has continued to this day, that specific group, or it's just different wicked, corrupt people? I
don't think that group continued just because Germany's been through so much. Yeah, I don't think it would have survived.
Yeah.
But I do think it's probably similar to like the Confederate flag in a sense. Like, yes, that movement is gone for the most part, but there's still people who believe in it and carry the Confederate flag and have it on their house and fly it because they like what it stood for.
Yes.
And I think that's what celebrities and billionaires are doing with the name of the Illuminati. Not necessarily probably trying to follow what the Illuminati were about, but enjoying the concept of it and probably holding to similar themes that the Illuminati had.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Huh. Wow, this is fascinating. You really could go in a massive rabbit hole of a bunch of directions with this.
Yeah.
So excited to talk about the Rothschilds.
Can't wait.
Because if there is an Illuminati,
them.
They are it.
Well, it says right here why they disbanded the Illuminati.
Oh, yes.
It was perceived a threat to stability. So the Illuminati's goal of promoting Enlightenment ideals and challenging traditional institutions was seen as a potential destabilizing force by Bavarian authorities. There was also association with anti-religious publications.
Okay.
The Illuminati was blamed for the emergence of anti-religious publications in Bavaria, further alarming the Catholic Church at the time.
Okay. So it was like religious organizations were trying to shut it down.
And there were also internal conflicts and defections inside the Illuminati itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. It's a good thing they didn't start in the U.S. because the whole freedom of speech and religion, they could just kept going.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Germany's
I think
like,
that's
we're shutting
probably
this
where it's
down.
at today is in the U.S.
I would say largely.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
also
and
France.
a little bit of UK.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Rothschilds and the French connection. Macron.
Macron, those are delicious.
His husband. I didn't say that.
I know. That's what I got, babe.
Love it.
Cool.
So to answer your question, yes, I do believe they are real in some form, whether they are, there was the remnants of this group from 250 years ago or something that's just wrong.
Same.
Yeah.
Cool.
We figured it out.
We did it. Next on this podcast, we would like to recommend something to our lovely stuffies who listen. I don't know. Can we stick with the name Stuffies, or are we going to try to change it? We don't talk about it outside of this.
We don't talk about Bruno. That was dumb.
We don't talk about Stuffies. I think
we can just call them our listeners.
No, they gotta have a nickname. They gotta have a nickname.
We should probably put it in our next newsletter.
Yeah.
Ask them, what do you want to be called?
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, we're releasing a newsletter soon.
Yes.
So if you want to get connected with that, hit us up at stuffthatwelike@gmail.com.
Yeah. But on for our recommends.
Yes.
I would recommend to people get a sandstone coaster as such. They're also called thirsty stones. They're great because the sandstone is porous and it just absorbs the moisture from your drink, your iced drink. We got these on our recent trip to Utah. And yeah, they're really cool. You also can get mini-sized ones that fit in your cup holders in your car, and therefore you don't have any leftover residue. So invest in some new coasters.
Yeah, they're really sweet. Good recommend.
Thank you.
I think I would recommend the movie Cheaper by the Dozen.
Nice. That was going to be my second one. But
Really?
he's going to do that.
Oh, it's so good. We just watched it last night, and it has been a childhood favorite of mine. And it brought back all the good feelings. And Steve Martin looks older in that movie than he does today. So
Crazy.
I don't understand that. His hair is thicker today. His face looks great. He moves similarly to how he did back then.
I don't know how he was completely white-headed 22 years ago.
I don't know.
I mean, he was probably 50.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Maybe the stress of being like awesome.
I don't know.
And just having to hold that line.
Yeah. Another fun fact is that Steve Martin during the filming of Cheaper by the Dozen, which came out in 2003, had not yet had any children. He had his first child in 2014 or something like that. Yeah.
So crazy to me.
Kind of funny, pretending to be a dad to 12 people. And the gal who played the wife in Cheaper by the Dozen also didn't have kids.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Lastly, on this podcast, we like to tell people to contact us with questions or topics or requests to be connected to our newsletter at stuffthатwelikepodcast@gmail.com. I didn't make you say it this week.
All right. I was prepared.
You're going to get this next one. Follow this podcast and give it a like on Apple and Spotify. It really does help people find us and grow our reach. Follow Christina on Instagram at
See Joyfully.
Christina also has a show segment we started doing called Stuff You
Missed,
where she highlights interesting things happening in America. But this week, we released a similar segment called Stuff You Should See
While You Sip.
Yes.
It's pretty much us going to our favorite coffee shops in the Kansas City area and then going on a hike or a walk afterwards. And
yeah.
It's a nice pairing for all of you who don't live in Kansas City. You can see what we're doing.
So we just put one out today. So go ahead and take a look at that. You can find me on Instagram at Caleb C Media, and you can find our podcast on Instagram at
Stuff We Like. Stuff That We Like. Podcast.
I do freelance videography and photography, so email me at calebmcastaneda@gmail.com if you have any needs in those areas. I also write music. We'd love to score your movie or short film. You can find stuff I've written on all audio platforms under Caleb Castaneda. Lastly, we have a video and podcast company that helps showcase churches in Kansas City called
Moodwave Media.
There we go. So if you'd like to get your pastor on our podcast or need video done for your church or Christian nonprofit ministry, contact us at moodwavemedia@gmail.com. Please do it soon. We're filling up really quick podcast wise, and that's a crazy reality.
It's fun.
But it's happening. So that's it.
All right. Well, this has been Stuff That We Like /enjoy, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.